Hey, what's up YouTube? This is EV Variety, and I am very excited to show you this today. Little Miss Steel. That's right. Printed, physical, in the flesh, or paper. This is just a test print that I've gotten. I've worked with Kablam for the last month to try and get a test print to me. And I'm very glad it came before March. It's a really it's really just a nice feeling to actually see something that I've worked on, a full comic project in my hands, like an actual physical product, as opposed to doing web comics, which I have done for the past 4.5 years. It's very nice to actually see this, and it was a really great feeling yesterday when I got it. I didn't make a video yesterday though because I was like, let me come down from the high of this. Let me logically try and explain everything I want to talk about in this video. Today, as opposed to waiting, doing it immediately yesterday, and kind of blabbering on. So I'm going to try and keep this brief. Besides this awesome comic that has been printed, this is just a test print, by the way. There are some things about it. I'll show you some of the interior. I'll flash through it real quick. Look at that. That looks pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. There is some slight pixelation, just some distortion in there, and I wanted to do this because, as you can see, like the pages are sort of cropped, and I wanted to see that everything was perfectly in the margins, and so far everything I've looked at it a few times. I don't see any major cropping errors. It's mainly just like the pixel distortion that I've got to work on for the final product. And that's why I wanted to do a test in the first place, was to figure out what's wrong with it, how can I fix it, and get it for the final product to look as good as possible. It's not like too bad, but it's something that I notice, and I don't want other people to see it and be like, eh. I want everyone to look at this and be like, wow, this looks great. So that's why you do things. That's why you test things first. That's what you do. But I didn't just want to talk about this. I could all day. What I also want to talk about is the publishing, the actual distribution of this to you guys. What I've been working with at the moment is the game plan that I've been making is to update the website, make it to where you can pre-order it there, give your shipping address and everything like that, so I can start sending that to you as soon as I get a copy for it. Once I get an idea, once a certain amount of time has passed and I know, around about how many copies I need to order, that is whenever I would place the order. Stuff would arrive to me, and then I would, do the little details, cross my I's and dot my T's, and get everything put together to send to you guys. And I would do all of this myself, except for, of course, the printing, which would be done through Kablam. And the reason why I went with them was because they're very affordable. They've been around for almost 2 decades, and obviously they know what they're doing because I got my comic. That was the main plan. That was okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it all, the rest of it myself. Leave the printing to Kablam. Until literally today, when a video drops that we're going to look at for a a little clip of, and you'll see why things are changing potentially. So let me go here. Let me get my webcam turned on. There we go. We're gonna watch this video. This is just a short, the first minute and a half of it from the Rippaverse. And if you don't know what the Rippaverse is, independent comic book company. They've put out a few comics the last year and a half, and they've got plenty more on the way. And as you can obviously tell, I am a pretty decent fan of what's been going on. I've been following ISOM #1, since it was getting ready to drop. And I've enjoyed all 3 products to varying levels. Some of them I just thought were good. Some of them I thought were great. I do want to keep seeing how they develop. But let's look at this video and see why I'm making this part of the video for you today.
I'm Eric July, the founder and owner of the Rippaverse. When we launched our comic book company in 2022, I took the risk of my life. But it wasn't an uneducated risk. We've had 3 campaigns over $1 million, and that's due to us doing tons of research. A lot of that research had to do with analyzing the industry standards from content to distribution. And quite frankly, we couldn't make sense of a lot of it. So we did things differently. We handled everything ourselves as a new company, from the website functionality to the fulfillment. All of it was in-house, and we've learned a lot along the way. We know what works and we know what doesn't, and we are not afraid of change and improvement. If you've kept up with my videos, you know that many people ask me if we'll ever publish non-Rippaverse things.
Evie Variety with a Foster asked this question several months. I was wondering if the answer changed. Are you interested in bringing on outside series to the Rippaverse?
I've always said that I believe our contribution would be more so in helping fulfill, because it's the most pressing issue.
And that's pretty much all I want to show with this is that basically it wasn't just me. I'm not gonna take the ultra ego take and say I'm the reason why they're doing this. That's not the case. There's been a lot of people that have been asking, will you take other ideas and add it to the Rippaverse? And the answer that I've always gotten back is that in the future we are considering. I've gotten this from Eric July. I've gotten this from Caro Brown, which is part of the team at Rippaverse. I've always been told that the idea was they would open up a second, a second, website / company where they would basically handle all of the shipping, packaging, the fulfillment side of things, as he said. And lo and behold, it's coming now. This video literally just dropped today. So if I will, I'll go to the website and just basically read off of that some things and give you an idea. What they're, if you go to the Contact Us page and you fill out your information, which I have already done this morning, there's multiple ideas for the service. There's multiple, titles for what they can do: consulting, fulfillment, campaign / store hosting, and publishing, and then there's other. And what I think could potentially happen here is, instead of going through my plan, maybe I look at what, the Rippaverse can offer with this and see if it's more affordable, if it's more time affordable, and even if it's not more time affordable, is it more quality? Can I deliver a better quality product through them, a professional company that's done this multiple times at this point to multi-million-dollar successes? Is it better for me to go through this route as opposed to doing most of the work myself? And I am inclined to believe that the answer is definitely going with them, because again, this, I'm not as nearly as experienced to doing the publishing and campaign store hosting for this than they are, because they're a company. They have the manpower, the storage space, and the experience in doing this multiple times. So I'm leaning towards going with them. Now, later in the video that I didn't show you all of, but later in the video, Eric July, the founder, mentions that this isn't like a sort of anyone can do this. There has to be like a proof of a product. You can't just show like, hey, I got this idea for a comic and I want you guys to do all the work for it. Well, you got to show us that you've got the product. And this is like almost divine timing. Because I've been sitting on Lil Masteel being done since January. So it's perfect timing for me, first of all, to mention, because that clip is old. That clip is like a year old at this point. And at least I think it's a year old. I'm pretty sure it's a year old. And it's, from that point, me talking about that to now, it's, I've done all the work for the pilot comic to be, completed. The actual art and the writing of it has been completed for a while. I've just been looking at different options for how to get the product to you. And I feel like this, especially if, if I can get on board with this, because not everyone's going to make the cut, obviously. If I am able to get on board with this, which, I mean, I'm the guy in the video, so maybe they'll show mercy. Maybe, you know, if I'm able to get on board with this, I think this would be the best way to do it. However, because of this literally dropping today and me not knowing about this, like, you know, 3 months before, it may end up delaying the actual pre-order of the comic until, instead of March, it might be into April, or hopefully not, but maybe even into early May. And I would prefer to get this as soon as possible. I would prefer to do this because, as mentioned in previous videos and posts on social media, the main purpose of me making this comic physical and trying to sell it in the first place is to support my brother. Previous videos, I've talked about his cancer diagnosis. He is cancer-free, thank God. And the only thing he has left is the surgery to remove the mass. It is no longer a cancerous mass, but it is still a mass on his major artery. So they're still going to have to go in there. March 8th, actually, it's coming up in less than 2 weeks. And, you know, they're going to have to go in there, cut that out. And that's going to be a 3-month recovery time, which means 3 more months that he's not going to be in work. So anything that I can do to help him out, that's what I'm going to do. And so that's what the purpose of this comic being printed and sold is, as opposed to me just doing it as a webcomic. Because if I post it as a webcomic, it would make exactly $0 because webcomics do not make money. And again, the main purpose of this is to help him out. Now, some of the money will be going into, like, you know, making the second comic, because at the end of the day, I have a full-time job and other responsibilities outside of work. I can't possibly make new issues of Little Miss Steel in a consistent and timely manner compared to someone like the Ripperverse, which is a whole company with hired artists. You know, depending on the success of this first pilot, I may just have to continue doing it myself, or, God willing, I'm able to hire an artist to help me in the process of making it. And that's, you know, that's part of it. That's part of, you know, the goal of this is, sure, I can donate all the money to my brother, and, you know, if it's a one-off thing, sure, that helps him immediately. But if this can be a continuous thing, if I can continue to sell, you know, Little Miss Steel in hopefully increasing numbers, then in the long run, it's smarter to reinvest some of the money into the actual, you know, continual production of Little Miss Steel. Because it's not just a one-off story. It's, you know, I've written, as far as the novelization goes, I've written up to 2 books. I'm working on the final draft of book 2 now. And, you know, the writing, the story is there. You know, I've got the concepts of the story, you know, the rough outline of the story elements. I've got that written far beyond book 2. It's just, you know, as far as the plans for Little Miss Steel go, there's a lot. But as far as, you know, getting the actual, you know, art done, that's a whole nother story. The artwork is, you know, a very lengthy process that I can't just do anywhere, as opposed to writing. You know, I can do writing, you know, throughout the day. If I have an idea, I can just note that down. But when it comes to actually doing the art, it's like you have to have dedicated time to be doing it hours at a time. And it's just not doable when it's not easily doable when you have a full-time job. Obviously, it's doable because I've done it. It's just taken from August to January to do one comic, and I would prefer to get it done a little bit faster than that. So that's my philosophy going into this, is that if this does well enough, you know, most of the money will go to my brother, but some of it will also go to you know, hopefully hiring an artist to help me do this. There's some segments in the book 2 that would, you know, require an artist that you're probably familiar with. You've seen his work in this first book in the novelization, or rather, you'll see it in the first book and you've seen it in the novelization. So there's ideas. There's ideas for how I can go about doing this, but I don't see myself meeting the March deadline because I want more time to fully analyze all of my options figure out what the best way to go about it is and execute that. So that is, if you were looking forward to it in March, I apologize. I'll eat that one. Again, this isn't a delay of the product because the product is made. The problem is, or rather, not even a problem. Just the delay is simply because I want to find what is the best, most affordable, and highest quality, process I can go through to get this comic to you. So, with that being said, I'm excited. Seeing this book in person is so exciting for me. But that wraps up everything I wanted to talk about in this video. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you for following and supporting Little Miss Steel. Stay tuned for another video update. If I work out a deal with Rip Ascend, or if I work out something with Kablam, then there will be an update video talking about that, how this is going to be going forward, and a more concrete expectation time-wise of when things will happen. So, till next time, peace out.